Things Bloom podcast. I'm Karen Higgins, and I'm the marketing manager at Bloom. And today I have Laura McNeely, and she is our studio manager at Bloom Creative Studio. Before we begin, we want to let you know that this podcast includes conversations around mature and sensitive topics. This content is intended for adult listeners and may not be appropriate for children. Human trafficking and exploitation are happening every day in cities, suburbs, and communities just like ours. An estimated 27 million people worldwide are affected by human trafficking, making it one of the fastest growing crimes globally. This is not a distant issue. It is happening in our own backyards. At Bloom, our mission is to provide sanctuary and a continuum of care to heal, empower, and employ survivors of trafficking and exploitation. We fight this fight today so that it is not your daughter, your sister, your friend, your loved one tomorrow. Together we stand in a community and say, not on our watch. So today we're here with Laura McNeely, the studio manager at Bloom Creative Studio, one of Bloom's social enterprises. And she's going to share with us about the studio, why it's here, what it offers the community. And Laura, we'd like to hear a little bit about yourself first and your role here at the studio.
Okay. Well, I joined Bloom Creative Studio as an employee back in, I think it's been about 6 years.
Okay.
And I came in during COVID, actually. I have a long history of teaching preschool, and Carol had told me, we're moving. And I said, I could put my preschool skills together and organize, because in preschool you have to have places for everything to go. So I started just volunteering, and with that came the opportunity to be employed here as a studio manager, the gift shop, as well as the art area. And today I could say I feel totally blessed to have this opportunity. I know when I first started, I was like, I've never managed anything, and but I am a people person. So.
Oh, you managed a preschool classroom.
Well, yeah, I guess
that's one of the
okay. Those were 3 and 4 year olds. Okay. But it has been a true blessing, and working with participants in our program has just opened my eyes to just a whole new world of. I myself have been educated by them, and I have also been able to watch them just transform their own lives, and that is a true blessing.
That has to be amazing. Yeah. So can you give us, maybe take a step back and talk to us today about why the studio was opened and when? It was about 10 years ago, I believe.
Yes, approximately 10 years ago, maybe 11, but it was opened for the community to build awareness of trafficking and what is going on in our backyards. It also became a safe place for when we opened our first house, the Jasmine House, for participants to come and to create and heal through art. So it served multiple purposes, and continues to do that today.
And how does it do it? We've always heard, and your shirt explains it right there, art heals. Can you share kind of what you do and offer at the studio that provides that healing during a journey of a participant?
Sure. So when participants come, they I think they're pretty overwhelmed with just all the transitions that have been happening in their life. And so they walk in here, and they can also be overwhelmed here. But I think we take an approach where they can come in and find something to do, whether it is coloring or pottery or whatever it may be, just to help them to relax and begin to find a purpose, and to, I don't know, I think when you create, when you use your hands and your minds together, you get these endorphins that just allow you to relax and engage in conversation if you're with other people. So I'm not sure if I'm answering your question totally, but you can keep asking me.
Well, and I think you are. We've talked about, the term creative versus art. Like, and the fact that this is a creative studio. It's okay for you to make mistakes. You don't have to be an artist, you know.
Absolutely. I often think about that because sometimes when you say an art studio, it can be very intimidating. So I love that we are called a creative studio. It to me, it's a hub where people can come in, community as well as participants, and we can just play. It's like a playground to me. I mean, I feel like I get to
That
play.
is the perfect job.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I get to play every day. So it's, and I'm sure there's times when people want me to be on my computer a little bit more, but I get sidetracked. But yeah, I just think creativity is so empowering, and we all have it in us.
Mhm.
I think it's discovering it is, and that's what I like to see happen here. So anybody that comes in, whether participant or community, I do kind of have the mentality of like, hey, we're preschoolers. We're just gonna learn to unravel what's inside of us and explore our own creativities. And everybody's creativity it looks differently. So
Absolutely.
that's the beauty, just to see, we could all be doing the same project and they all look different.
Um,
Self expression.
and I know one of the healing is important for our participants and also community members that come to the studio and take classes, and we'll get into those in a little bit. The other part of the important part is the workforce development aspect here at the studio and at all of our social enterprises, at our My Sister's Closet, our PA 211 program. These are all ways to employ and provide safe, meaningful job opportunities for our participants. So,
And safe job
yes.
opportunities for them as well. So yes, so when participants enter the program, it's for the first 3 months they're really doing a lot of self-care, and by the end of the 3 months they are allowed to begin working. We have two positions right now at the studio, 10 hours a week for each, and they as they get familiar more and more with how the studio runs, they take on more responsibilities. So, I mean, I was just on vacation and I left the two new ladies that to run the studio, the storefront back here, and they did a fantastic job. I mean, they interacted with the community people, they kept the studio clean, they managed the money. I mean, I was really impressed. Like, and that, oh,
It must be a great space for them to come and work and, allow their creativity, but also have a meaningful, safe environment to earn a living and become more independent.
yes, absolutely, definitely builds their confidence, and that's beautiful to see.
Yes,
How that
definitely. And when you're talking about that, do you have any examples or stories of participants that have gone through and you've seen, new energy, new life from just being here in the studio?
Yes, absolutely. There was I'm going to speak on one participant that when she arrived, just the timid, quiet, um, trying to find direction and just trying to um, process where she is now. And I had eventually asked her to come and help me with kids art. And during that process of me directing kids art, slowly she began coming up with projects and saying, "Oh, let's try this and let's try that." And we had failures and we had successes, and that was wonderful. But the more time she spent doing that with me and just becoming relaxed, we had another teacher come in that was doing paint classes once a month. So I had asked her if she wanted to do the paint classes, and she was like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Yes." I just think this is calling you. So anyway, she began taking the paint classes and running the studio at that night. I didn't come in, and eventually she was just super excited and she was doing things on her own. And now to this day, the woman who had been teaching has moved on to other things, but this participant has now taken on the role, and she's a graduate, and she has taken on the role of doing our paint classes.
That is amazing. That's a amazing story of growth and a journey to independence and everything we
And
hope for
you know
here.
what's really beautiful is that she has another full-time job, but on her days off, or if she is just ever feeling overwhelmed, she comes in here. She might grab a canvas, um, and she'll just start interacting with the participants as well as just calming herself.
Right.
So
So it's still a healing place for her.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
it still allows her to come back
And she
we all
brings
need
other
that.
people. Yeah, and she brings other people. She's always telling other people about the studio. So
That's an amazing story.
she said to me one day, I just really feel like I'm reconnected with a part of me that I had kind of lost in the journey that I had been through.
And I think you even shared, maybe the other day, you said that, you know, one of the participants was thrilled that their artwork was being sold in our gift shop.
Yes.
And, that's
That is another great thing to see, is that because they don't always have the confidence when they come in, but as they begin doing, maybe it's just a repetition of the same activity over and over, you can see the confidence growing. But then when you take what they made and you take it out to the storefront, the gift shop, and it sells, it's like this whole bright light just shines in them. And I that to me is just beautiful, and they're very fortunate.
Yeah, and I think that's another point, about the social enterprises. We do have a gift shop, and a lot of the products or merchandise being sold there is survivor made.
Yes.
So when you come and purchase something from our gift shop, you're really, um, helping us fulfill our mission and financially supporting us, as well as getting a gift or, something to put in your own home. Um, that is very much more meaningful than buying something at a box store or something. So,
And I often will get people that will come in and maybe don't even know what our mission is all about, and that we are a nonprofit. And so I'll explain that to them, and I don't know, it just changes their whole dynamic in them as to, like, um, I'm going to buy this, and because they know it goes back into our program to help these women, um, they just feel like, I think they feel like they've done a good deed, and they've done more than a good deed. They've, like, changed somebody's life.
yeah, and
To change someone's life.
like, I know I have a mosaic, frame on my wall that was made here, and every time I look at it, it makes me feel really good. So, yeah, I think, our gift shop is amazing, and knowing that survivor products are there, that's great. Um, Another aspect I think, we haven't hit on yet is the participants are often, trying to reconnect with their families.
Yes.
It's a big part, and I know the studio offers another safe place for them to do that. Can you kind of talk about that a little bit?
Yes. So a lot of times when the women are seeing their family for the first time, it has been some time, and there's an anxiety that comes along with that. Just that, how am I going to interact with them? I haven't seen them for a long time. Somebody else has been caring for my child, and I think having the studio as a place where they can bring their family here and put out some art supplies and allow them just to explore. You see the conversations starting, and then with that, then you see the laughter, and you see them reconnecting with what they once had, and that's really a neat, cool thing to see.
Yeah. Yeah, and it gives them, versus going someplace and sitting in a room and trying to talk.
Yeah.
It gives them a more creative space where it can be much more natural.
Right. And it's not amongst a crowd of people.
Right.
So they can have their private conversations if they need to. It's great.
Oh, that's amazing. So the studio is a great place, and we'll show you maybe some photos or something later in the podcast so that you get a feel for what we offer here at the studio. But for the community, what do we have here? We've mentioned the gift shop. You also offer classes, private parties. Can you share with us about some of that?
Yep. So I often think too. I mean, the community is important to have in here because I think everybody has a story, and sometimes people don't realize they have a story, and they can also connect with participants, and or they can just heal themselves. So through some of the classes that we offer, we have the pottery wheel, we have glass fusion, glass mosaic, felting. I mean, we have multiple things that people can come in and do. And I just think it's really important.
Well, we have the kids' art is offered. What is that? Every Thursday?
Kids art is every Thursday from 3:30 to 5, and that's just a great time for children to explore creativity, because I mean it's not specific to just painting or pottery, but I mean we do multimedia type work. I mean it's just a well-rounded um, program, I believe.
And it's perfect after school activity to keep your kids busy off their screens and being creative. I think that's
come out
yeah.
if you haven't been.
And what ages is it for?
We do kindergarten through 6th grade.
Great. And do you have to register early for it, or how's that work?
You can go online and you can register, or you can also just be a drop-in. Maybe you only have 1 week that you can do it. And then in the summer we try to block times for, I think last year we had 3 different weeks of art camp, and they ran for about 3 hours. So
I wish my kids were young again.
yeah,
Sign them up.
you must know some young people you could send our way.
Yeah, definitely. So at the studio, you also offer the pottery wheel classes and the hand building classes. When do those happen?
Okay, so the pottery wheel class could be a little bit complicated if you're interested in learning, but we always say contact the studio because we try to work with their schedules. We found that has been successful, so they could call the studio, tell me the days that they're interested in and the times, and then we coordinate with the pottery wheel teacher, and then she forms a group of people that will come in and do it together. So
and you also offer the hand building.
Yes, but along with the pottery wheel, we also offer experience class. So that's a one-time class. You come in, it's 2 hours, and at that point you get to work on the wheel. Sometimes you create something, sometimes you don't. But she's really wonderful about having you form something so that you can walk away with a piece. So, well, you won't walk away that day, but yeah.
Wonderful.
So and then on Tuesdays, in the morning from 10:30 to 12:30, and in the evening from 6 to 9, we have open clay studio. And during that time, we work on slab rolling, like creating things from slabs of clay. Some people like to sculpt.
Let's see a bunch of
these are
around
different
here.
molds. Here we have different textures that you could add. Love these texture rollers. I mean, there's so much. And what has become so fun about this is we have some regulars. So now everybody is helping one another. So if you're a newbie, you don't have to feel intimidated at all. If you ask one person, they'll answer it. Someone else will come around, and it's such a wonderful community.
Nice.
And we all share ideas. So.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
And then you also have the private parties, the groups that come in. And I know, it seems like we're always getting different groups in here. So
yeah. So we've had a variety of different groups. We've had brownies, then we had Girl Scouts. We have had birthday parties. We have had team building events. People, groups that want to come in and do team building. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I feel like I'm always getting a call for something new, or we will go out into the community. So we just got a call about going to a daycare for the summer,
Oh, nice.
or an event at their daycare.
Mm-hmm.
And we have an upcoming event at a church. They want to do a paint evening, but they don't want to come in here because there's so many of them. So it's easier for them just to meet where they're comfortable. And so we could take it, and or you can come in here. So,
I think we even had like a bachelorette bridal party at one point.
Yes,
And
yeah.
you've had quite a few different groups come in.
Yeah,
Corporations.
sports teams come in. They always have that time of year where they have to make signs for the seniors, and they come in. The girls' soccer team has been here the last 3 years, I believe, and um, it's just fun to watch them. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and get creative, and it's definitely good team building time, and
And we always say, make the mess here. Like,
yeah,
do it at home. Come here. Like,
yeah, that's
even,
perfect.
Even if they have school projects, like, we have so many supplies here. They would only have to pay like the studio fee, and there's a lot of free supplies that would come with the studio fee. So if you have a school project, come on in. We'll help you.
Yeah, oh, that's
We won't do it for you though.
And I think that covers all the things that we offer for the community. And I think something you've mentioned, I'm not sure if you mentioned it today in the podcast or in the past, but the studio always feels different than going to some of the DIY studios out there. And I think you called it a hub, a community hub. Can you kind of explain that, and, the difference of this studio versus other studios out there?
I know for me, when I think like of an art studio, I think of like, you have to be a professional, right? Like, you're going to have your spot. You have to be a professional. You're going to make your living off of your artwork.
Right.
Where I like to think of the creative studio as a hub, because it's a place where everyone can come in and just explore. And we all have that creative part of us. Some have tapped into it more than others, but this is a place where you can begin tapping into your creative side and allowing it to grow and explore. And because we have different community people coming in, everybody's sharing their ideas and encouraging one another, and it's a happy place.
Yeah, special time for people to actually come and relax. I mean, a lot of us have stressful jobs and stressful life situations, and it's a great time to just come take a couple hours and relax and do keep your mind off of some of those everyday hardships that we might be going through.
And I know we don't have a lot of evening hours, but now that we have participants working on Saturdays, so we are back open on Saturdays from 10 to 3, which is wonderful, and that gives more opportunity for the community. But I think also, like, I'm always willing, if you just can't work it into your schedule, I'm pretty willing to say, you know what, I'll stay a few extra hours and come in and do something. So, but you just have to contact me.
So we'll definitely, at the end of the podcast, leave the information for you to contact Laura to schedule those classes or to events or anything like that. So, thinking about the future of the studio, Bloom has been expanding the past several years, and where do you see the creative studio, and as Bloom strives to serve more women in the community and expand our services, where do you see the studio fitting into that?
Yeah, so you're gonna make me really think here. No, but I mean, it's been really neat to see how it has grown over the 6 years that I've been here, for me, because I know we were shut down during COVID. So starting back up was something, and it was a challenge.
I think for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's been neat to see the progression. It hasn't been rapid, but it has been, I think, steady. So I just hope that we continue to grow as awareness grows of our mission and out in the community. And I would love to see, more participants being able to be employed here, taking on leadership roles, and just that's kind of what I'm thinking right now.
That's great. I mean, there's so much. We just recently announced our new location at the retreat center, and I can see all you coming in with all the creative activities for some of the retreats that will be starting next fall. So it's amazing all the opportunity that we have in store for us.
And those kind of events are wonderful because our participants can work alongside of me, or if they're comfortable enough, they can actually lead them on their own. And that kind of growth is great to see.
Yeah, it's that confidence and that independence that is really needed. When they're on this journey of healing.
Yep. And I know they get excited just about putting things out in this storefront. So imagine we have to put some things in the new gift shop at the retreat center. Like, how wonderful would that be?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure. Um, so kind of in closing, if someone is listening to this podcast today and wants to get involved here at the studio, we know they can come take classes, they can come to open studio, they can host a pop party, or you can bring a party to them. What are some other ways they could get involved, with donations, volunteering?
Yes. So one thing I really would like to see more of, and I'm not sure quite how to go about this, but I know that there's a lot of people out there that are crafters or artists, and I would really love for people to want to volunteer to teach a class here. I just think, the more classes we could get here at the studio, the more awareness we bring. And yeah, I just think that is something I would love to see.
Well, you have this weekend. You have a resin necklace class.
Yes.
Like that's a good example of bringing something different in that you don't offer every week.
Right. And we don't offer on a daily basis resin. So that is, again, that's a neat workshop that's coming up. And we have the painting. But people have asked about drawing or sewing or knitting. And so another way volunteers could get involved is if they have a specific skill, whether they can sew or knit, or some of our participants are really eager to learn those things, and you could work one-on-one with them. And we're always like in donations. We accept all kinds of donations, and including toilet paper and paper towels, because when the studio's busy and we're making a mess, we need it. So
yeah, definitely. I know I cleaned out my kids are grown now, so I cleaned out their closets, and that was a great way to have a place to donate their art closet.
Yes. And we appreciate it. Yeah. We found a home for them. So.
So yeah, if you have items to donate, you get in the mood to clean out your closets, the art studio could definitely use supplies at any time we run out of them.
Yeah.
So definitely would be good. Um, and I guess finally, just on a personal note, like you said, this is your dream job. Like,
I know
you really scored a good one on this.
I did. I just like, it is so easy for me to go to work. I'm part time, but I just, I don't know. I just feel like so blessed to be here, and not just because I get to be creative, but I really enjoy working with the women on a daily basis and getting to know them and just seeing their lives transform. I just think it's such a beautiful thing. Yeah, just I until I worked here, I couldn't fully understand that, but to see the transformation take place over these 2 years is just amazing.
Yeah,
so sure. I get to play and I get to, observe and build relationships,
and I think you're making important you're an important part of their journey of being here and just listening. And helping them, helping them as they grow. So on that note, I think we've kind of covered everything about our social enterprise here. We'd love to have you come and join us. You can find information about the Bloom Creative Studio on our website, and also follow us on social media. We're on both Facebook and Instagram, and we share updates on our classes, our events, and we'd love to see you drop in and take a look at our gift shop and
Yeah,
come visit us.
wonderful.
Thanks for joining us for All Things Bloom.